Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is Arm's Length Art Day, Saturday. So all day I will be working on what is on my desk that I'm trying to clear up. It's going to take me a year of Saturdays to finish all the stuff on my desk. So today I'm working with packaging, all of these flapped packages or these types here. And I'm going to be making some scrappy fabric swatches that are held together with this packaging. My plan is to cover all of this with scrapbook paper or book pages or napkins, all out of the stuff on in my trays. I'll show you my scrapbook paper tray. It hasn't really gone down much. You saw it the other day. And in fact, I added these on here afterwards. So we're going to have to do something with all these long strips because they're all cardstock. But I have lots of paper in here to play with to cover these packaging pieces. So when it comes to something like this, I'm going to cut it in half so that I can make two, because that's a really big piece. I don't really need this for anything. So yeah, so it'll get covered, but in two pieces. I'm not going to have the bottom come out if there is no bottom. I'm just going to, well, I guess I could use some of these, cardstock pieces to make bottoms for them. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, maybe I will have bottoms on all of them. So that's not too much work to do that because that's already decorated. So yeah, so if they don't have a flap, I will create a flap. Like this one doesn't have a flap, but it's quite large. So I will just fold this over and make it a little shorter. Same with all of these different packaging. Now this one again is a big one. I think what I'll do is I'll cut it into two thin ones because these would be fun to just tuck into a journal with fabrics on them. And then some of these are really wide here, so I'm going to again cut those in half, but they're all ready to work with. So once I've got them covered in scrapbook papers, and so that they look pretty, like I will show you an update as I go along, but I'm just giving you a rundown of what I'm doing here. I'm going to move this out of the way just for a second. I am going through this entire bag of fabrics. Now I'm going to show you some of this because, you know, it's here in this bag and it is one of those things to do projects. And I know it looks like yucky, junky fabrics, right? And bits and pieces. I have this doily that has this beautiful crocheted lace on it, and it's a piece of burgundy fabric, so that's coming apart. I will salvage the lace, whether I use it on today's projects, I don't know. I've got some red scrappy burlap fabrics in here, sort of a burlap weave. I have some hankies that when I bought an estate of hankies one time, and I threw them all in the wash because they smelled very vintagey. And so this one didn't do well in the washing machine. It was pretty fragile to begin with. So it's you would think that this is junk, but once I've ironed it, and I will get up and do ironing while I'm doing this. So once I iron it, it will look okay. It's raw silk, so I'll have to be very careful. But yeah, it'll be fun to play with that. A piece of this wild red fabric, but I see something going on here with the red. I see some black here and then the red burlap. What do you see, huh? And then I've got some laces in here and organza ribbons. This was a dumping pot. I've got some black lace here with red in it. I've got some blue. This was part of a blue hanky that I know, again, didn't survive the wash. And then I've got some eyelet lace that has some stains on it, so I will further ink stain this if I'm using it. I have a napkin here. This might be a table runner or something. It's got holes in it. You know, it's been through years of stress. It's monogrammed with the letter N. Oh, look at that. That's me. I'll have to keep that. This was a really pretty hanky, but it just ripped, so there's a big hole in it, so I will chop it up for using. It's got lots of nice finished corners here that will be pretty in a swatch thing. Another piece of oddball lace. Oh, I guess it was a little doily or something, again with a big hole in it. So all of this stuff is distressed stuff. This one is just a piece of fabric. It looks like it was, I don't know what it was, but it's in here. And then there was some stuff I was working on. I might keep those still. Some pink hankies with black trim. That's quite the combination, isn't it? So I may tear off the black and see what I can do with that. Again, some of these hankies that didn't quite make the washing machine. And that's the thing is, you know, you have to see how you can salvage it. Like this one is you know, it's pretty grungy. It's not worth keeping as a hanky. So some of this is just an effort to use it up. I don't like to waste any of this stuff. You know, it's fun to give it another life. Now this one looks like it kind of melted a little bit in the wash. Or something. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can iron it out. And then this is some kind of a sailing, you know, it's a nautical pattern. It had a big tear in it here. And I'm sure there's a few stains on it, and there's lots of it. So I will just tear it up and use it in these pieces. And there's some handwriting I see on it too. I don't know if I can see it. Let's see what it says. From a fellow, 1945. Yeah, don't have a clue about that. Here's a purple one. So all of this will be just fun to play with. And, you know, here's another mauve color, so I can mix these colors together. And they all look grungy until you start ironing them and matching them up with other things. Like here's sort of oranges, with a little bit of blue and green in it. So here's another one with those colors. So when you start putting these things together, they can be really fun. So I'm going to look for mostly scrapbook paper that looks very vintage to add to this. And there's more, like it goes on in this bag. I will probably not use it all up, and I probably won't get these all done today, but I will start on them, and then it will get finished, because that's how I work. I do finish to the end eventually. So that's what I'm showing you for right now, and I will come back and show you my progress as I do this on Facebook. Now, if you are following along on Facebook, you know, you'll see bits of this. It really won't make a lot of sense because you're only looking at a few pictures. But, you know, when you come back tonight and see the video when it's all put together, you know, then you can have a better understanding of what I did all day. So this is an all-day project, so stay tuned. In 2 seconds, you'll see the time, how fast time goes by. I'll see you soon. Bye now. Hi, everyone. I'm back again. I just thought I'd share with you. What I did next was I took some cardboard trays that I have, and I sorted everything that was in that bag. So this is a bag of kind of ivories and creams. There's lace, hankies, you know, linen pieces, and some other scraps. So that's kind of a neutral tray that I can draw from to accent the other colors. And then I have, and I wonder why my desk is always teetering. Then I have this tray, and this was all of the hankies that were, you know, not that great a shape. I had some green, yellow, and blue organza ribbons in this bucket. So it's all that kind of pastel faded type of grungy fabrics. And then I just went through my paper box, and there's a little bit of blue in here too. And so I just went through my paper box and grabbed all the scraps that were sort of in those colors, if you can relate. And just whatever I had, like there's a piece of map in here, and, you know, greens. And so I'm just going to see what I can use for packaging to make this work. So that was that tray. Yeah, I'm in trouble here. You can see. And then again, I grabbed all the scrap papers that were in sort of pinky purpley colors, a little bit of beige. There was this roll of fiber in here. There's not a lot of pinks, so I wouldn't have a lot to put together. But all of these will get intermixed with the creams and ivories that I have there. And, you know, all this stuff has to be ironed. This is a huge piece of lace. I'll just take the scrappy bits and probably put the rest of this in my lace box that matches this color. So yeah, I have enough to play with here. Again, there's a piece of organza ribbon in a couple of colors. It must have come off of a sampler or something. So I think that's enough to play with in there. And then the reds. It was kind of the reds with the blues. I had this old folio that I used for something, and how convenient it had the red and black in it. And lots of different bits of red, you know, red and with a little bit of black scrapbook papers. And then I'm looking at, you know, how I had shown you there. There's that a really bright piece of red. There's some lace, that hanky. I don't know how I'm going to divide this up, but I will figure it out as I go along. Because this nautical one is so defined red and blue, I found this little bag in there, and it's some kind of milk bath. So I might cut that up to use that in there as well, because this I think had a stain on it. Oh, it's on both sides, so I would get 2 papers out of here, or 2 fabrics out of here. So I may use that as well. You know, things like this string we'll use to tie the flaps closed. There are a few other little fibers that will probably go back into my fiber boxes. You know, there's some twine, but I will use it intermixed with some of the stuff here as I go along. But I just thought I'd share how my mind processes how to deal with this stuff. So I'll probably start with the reds first, and then take it from there, and then see what I'm left with at the end. So that's it for now. Okay, I thought I'd bring you along for this part here. I've kind of sorted my fabrics now to match how I want to use them, and I have some of the packaging here. If you hear some banging upstairs or in the house or in the background, it's my husband working in our bathroom. We're doing some renovations. So I have these 4 pieces of burlap, and this is a piece of scrapbook paper that I'm thinking I'm going, or actually this is wallpaper that I'm going to use for part of the decorating the packaging. And then I have this red with black, which is a really good match to this burlap. I don't need a lot of it, so I think I'm going to just cut, you know, a small piece for each one. And if I have leftover scrappy bits, I will make them into snippets before the day is over. So I'm just going to cut, you know, a piece to go. Oh, I'm getting all caught up on everything here. I ironed everything flat. This was a gathered lace, if you saw at the beginning. So I'm just kind of matching up some pieces together here. Yeah, everything gets ironed flat, although this is kind of curling up a little bit. And any leftover bits will get used right away for making snippets and stuff. But if it's a good piece of lace, I'm not going to cut it up. If like this is left over now, I'm not going to cut it up unless I have something else to go with it. So I'll just put that off to the side. And then I'm kind of undecided about this red, but it does have the black in it and this goldy color. I'm just going to stick it aside for a little bit longer. There's this piece, so I think I will match that for 2 of them. So I'm just going to lay that down. It's a little bit brighter of a red than what I planned with this, but... So then I've got these little swatches. Now this came off of a big strip. Somebody had pre-quilted these, and I just took them all apart. Like they had sewn them all together for making some kind of a quilt. So I'm going to just, I'm not sure on this. This might end up going back into the pinks eventually. But I see that there's this fire red here. This one's a little bit darker, and it seems to match with that fabric there. I hope you can see that okay. And same with this one. It's very swirly looking, and it seems to match with this. So you can see, like with the fabrics, I'm already getting something going with the papers that are here. I'm just going to hold this one off for a little bit, although it would go okay with that. We'll see. I'm going to hold it. See, it's kind of looking like it matches with this better. So, again, some of these papers, this is more that color. This seems a little bit more fiery red color. because once you match the papers, even if I don't use the papers as the background for the packaging, I can still incorporate into the swatches as well. Now this one is one I took a little bite out of for making those little swatch cards. I kind of like it with that, so I think I'll put it there. These ones have a pretty big piece of fabric. It's not out of the question for here, so I'll stick it there for now. And then there's this shabby hanky that didn't make the wash. It got all frayed, but it's a nice neutral color. There is a patch of yellow here, so I will cut that into 4s because it seems like I'm making 4 here. And so I'm just gonna, I don't know how well this would tear, so I'm just going to cut it. I can do the trimming on it afterwards. And cut this into 4. All of the fine tuning will be done after. So definitely this piece that has the yellow flowers, I'm going to put with this one, because even the flowers, it's hard to tell, but even the flowers are very matchy-matchy. And this is pretty neutral, so I'll stick it with that one. And same with this one is pretty neutral, so I'll stick it with that one. And this one has a little bit more yellow along the edges. I don't know if you can see the yellow, so I'm going to stick it with this one because there's that yellowy color in there. And, you know, I'm going to use this in all of these, even though there's more yellow in these ones. There is yellow in this background paper here. So again, I'm just going to take this hanky. Now this hanky has a little bit of blue staining on it. Who knows what that came from, and there's some holes in here, but I'm just gonna cut it into 4. If I don't use it on this, it'll get used in something else. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how this works for me, how I do this. And so I will focus mostly on these 4 for the video, but knowing that I will be doing more. So just trimming it down to 4 pieces. And as I was saying, if I don't use it in one of these, then I will move it on to the next project as I go along. And then I have this eyelet lace. It's got a lot of stains in it, but I've ironed it out nice and flat, and I love it. So the one where there's a stain here it's kind of right in the middle. I'm gonna try to use that first. So because it's got the stain, it matches in with my yellows. So I'm just gonna cut a piece that's kind of complementary to the Okay, so now you see I have 2 pieces. I probably don't need all of this. So I will just now cut some pieces that are approximately to the size I want to use. And the rest will go into the next batch. However, you know, there is still these 2 pieces here. So I will send this off to the next round of something, because this is just scrap of paper, so it'll go back. And this will go to the next round of whatever colors I might use it for. I've also got this, and I'm just going to cut it in 4 evenly to spread it around the 4 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I had this little piece, but I think, you know, I see something going on here. So I will just pass it on to the next color group as I'm working. And, you know, if I get to use it, that's great. If not, it'll just go back into the pile for another day. So that's how I kind of, you know, I've matched up the fabrics to the papers that I had. and just, you know, do a play. And so now I've got to make this work, you know. And so the next set of reds, because I had 2 reds in the end, was to use up this folio folder that is left over. And I've got, it's more of a burgundy red, so I introduced a little bit of black, a little bit more burgundy from that quilt piece. This is part of the quilt here. So I just picked through the colors that I thought would complement this. So those again will get filtered into the other ones. So here I have another hanky that will get cut up into 4. I have the inside hanky, that burgundy, that will get cut up into 4. Same with this burgundy with the black. So there's something coming together here. I had this piece of lace that I thought, well, it kind of looks in this burgundy color, you know, a little bit. It's very complementary to the light pink in the flowers here. So I thought, okay, that's going with this. So that is my process for how I do these and use up scraps. And, you know, it looks like a bunch of garbage when you're putting all that scrap stuff together and it's, you know, wrinkled and grungy. But when you start playing with it and ironing it and working it into your packaging, you'll be surprised at how fun it can be and how rewarding it is to actually put these together. So I'm going off now again, and you will see the finished results as well as you will see the other finished results. But now you have an idea of how my process works. If I haven't used up too much time in this video, I may come on and show you another color and how I process that as well. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back again. I think this is going to probably end up being a 2-part video, but I really wanted to share how I do this with all of you, and I think this is a great way to do it. So I've covered that piece of packaging with some book page on the top, and here's a piece of that wallpaper, although I still have a little piece left that will go in the stash for the other 3 that are here. And then I used some of this burgundy paper that I had, and I continued to use it on the back side. I didn't go over, and that's because I don't want that crease and that wrinkled look, and I will cover this later on when I'm doing the embellishing. I covered the back so that it can be written on. I might do put a label on here that's kind of garment related, or, you know, something to do with fabric, or, you know, some type of specimen thing. I'm not sure yet. And then on the front, I will eventually embellish it and decorate it a little bit more, but that'll be after this is all put together. So I've got all those fabrics that I showed you that I had separated. And the first thing that I wanted to put down was this burlap. And it's quite striking in here. I've fringed all the edges on this so that it has a nice finished look. You know, there's going to be threads, and I'll be picking them all day because of all the materials that I'm working with. But I'm just centering it on there. You know, I'm going to be stapling this. Did I say this already? I sewed all around the edges. My machine didn't like the shiny paper. It's this very silky paper. So it was causing me a little grief with tension, but I adjusted the tension, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. So these are all the pieces I have to work with. Now, I think the best thing would be to put this next one. You know, it's one of those things, you change your mind and audition things 10 times before you decide you like it. Nah, I think if anything, I'm going to put this one. Maybe we'll try this one. Let's see. Now, I stagger them over top, but I don't, you know, I don't worry if they cover completely, because the next one will be more visible. So this got a little hole in it. I don't know if you can see that on there. And now maybe this will show up a little bit better. That's a little nicer, isn't it? Okay, so then we still have these to work with. Now this was the offcut from the burlap. This will get used after. I don't know. I'm going to be playing and playing with this, and I hate doing it on camera. Now this is a little too wide, so I'm going to take off some of this plain white here. Everything's sticking together. But this is the process, so I'm showing you it all. So where's that white? Okay, here we go. I'm going to take off a little bit of that along the edge here. And who knows where that'll end up after. It's almost like this should be like kind of the finale, I think. I've got this one. It doesn't matter which you put on first or next, because one is always going to cover the other. Now I have to get this in there yet, and this lace in here. So maybe this should go here. And then this lace can go on top. Yeah, even this lace has little holes in it because it's all old stuff. And then maybe this one can go right here. So it's kind of an overlay over top. So there's my first one put together. Now I'm just going to staple the edges. If I can find my stapler in this mess. Yes, I can. And I'm going to staple with the flat prongs on the back side so that it doesn't cause to catch on anything. So stapling upside down, I'm going to catch it in the middle first. And then once on the end. And then once on this end. So now taking my pliers, I'm going to push those prongs in. And this is now ready to decorate. So there will be some threads from the different things that I have on the table here. And I'm going to keep going now. See, there's a few that I can pull out of this piece yet too. There we go. But I think that looks pretty cute. And you know, it's just scrappy fabrics, and you saw it's all bits and pieces, and it'll just be fun for somebody to look through it. It's a little bit of nostalgia. You know, there's some very vintage old pieces on here. So it's a great way to use up these scraps. The decorating I'm going to do off camera. You don't need to see me decorate. It's going to be just putting some, you know, labels and trims, but you will see the finished results of all of these after. So you saw the 4. I'm going to continue working on these, and I'm going to continue working on all the ones I have, and we'll, you know, if there's something interesting to show you, I will come back and show you. But for the most part, these are just going to go now in the pile, and hopefully all of these are going to get done today. Good luck, Kim. Okay, so I'll be back in a few minutes to show you the results. Okay, everyone, I am back. It is now after 5. My day is done, and this is all I got done today. So I did a total of 7 of these little swatch books. They still have to be decorated on the tops and backs, so I will do a follow-up on Friday when I get these done. This one's curving a little bit because I think there was quite a bit of glue here. So they turned out cute. That's the corners of that little hanky, and some fabric, lace, and burgundy fabric. You couldn't really see the burgundy fabric underneath, so I didn't use it for the rest of the 2 that I did. So it just has a couple of layers. And here's the 3rd one. This one was a little bit bigger, so I was able to show more fabrics in here. They turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the results. I'm not happy with how few I got done, of course. I love this one because there's more layers. Lots of, this is that really shabby hanky that I had. And there's some of that red and black lace in here. This one you saw, I think, earlier. I'm not sure. Did you see it already? Yeah. And so that's that same hanky. And then this one. So they turned out good. I'm really pleased with how they look. Once they get decorated, of course, you'll get to see the rest of that. I wish I could work faster, but it doesn't work out that way. So I did get this done. Now, this is the scraps I still have left from doing the darker, kind of burgundy shades of red with the black. And then this is the scraps I have left from doing the redder shade with the black. And I did make some snippets, and I'll show you those. So I have 2 of these that were done with the burgundy fabric. So this is just like a little page flip. I can glue this in. I wrapped a paper around here, so it'll be super easy to just glue along the back of the paper, and then it'll be a flip up on a page. So I've got 2 of those made, and I will decorate this a little bit as well, with a little embellishment on top. And then I think this was the most fun, was making these little snippets, because this was all with the leftover scraps. So I used up lots of little bits of fabric. I had these flowers. I have a bunch of them. They're in my bag of goodies that I have on the desk that I draw from every time I want something. There's all different kinds of colors. I'll show you the bag. Here's the bag. There's all different kinds of colors of things in here, and when I want a little piece of something, I just go in here and grab. And I can usually find something to match. So yeah, that's where these little flowers came from. So I just did a bunch of these. They're cute. They're great for doing like little, focal points or elements on a page. And they're fast to make. So this one is just like a little flippy thing. But they're good for, to use as a tab, you could glue this down the side of a page. If this were a page, you could glue it down the side along the edge and then use it as a tuck as well. So it depends on what you're making. So that was the most fun as far as, the quick production. Sorry, Highway's about to get fed, so he's excited. It's supper time. Supper time at the zoo, we always say. So I'm just, that's the color. I worked out of that one box, that one tray. That's all I got done. And I still have a little bit of scraps here that I can make a few more little clustery things. So then to show you, I still have all of these left to finish. This is all the packaging that's left to finish. So I think there's about 14 more here, something like that. So that's still got to be done. And so I never even touched the greens and pastel colored tray. I still have everything in here to work on that tray. And here these are all the papers I pulled out of my scrapbook tray to use. And then I still have all of the pinky purple plum shades, and the papers are all here too. So whatever I can come up with for these, I will do. So it will get done because I don't like to come up with this idea and do this project and then stick it all back. It's like, I went through all this work to get this organized, so I'm going to do them. And then I still have, I'm going to tip that over if I'm not careful. I still have, this is all the laces that were in that bag. So some of this now will just get put away with my laces. I will have to go through it, and some of this gets wrapped around cards to keep it neat. And some of the smaller pieces, I have a different method for keeping those. So that's still going to be worked on as I work on those 2 other trays. So hopefully this will go down a little bit. And then the last tray is the stuff I've decided, no, I'm probably not going to use it for these. These were a couple of snippets that I had made a while back. I think they'll probably turn into some kind of a little booklet. I'm not sure. They were just pieces of a snippet roll, and I cut them to size and then changed my mind whatever I was going to do. I think I was going to make needle books out of these, but now I think I'll just make little tiny journals. So when I cut out the burgundy fabric from this hanky, I ironed this out flat. It's such beautiful lace. It's vintage lace. So I'm going to put it into my stash of laces and use it for other projects. I really couldn't match anything up with this nautical fabric that I liked, except that I have this. This was that milk bath bag, and I just cut it out open, and so this might be used for something. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to sit on these ones for a bit. I think they'll just go into my regular fabrics. I'll just pin this onto it because I picked this with the blue. I mean, it's not quite the same shade of blue, but you know, if you're adding other things, it really doesn't matter. But I figured I'm not putting that into the mess of stuff that I want to use up. And then this, after I ironed it nice and flat, I really didn't like anything that I had picked out to go with it. So I decided I'm going to keep it, and you know, maybe I can make a small boho journal out of this. We'll see. You know, cover some kind of cover to make a journal. So these are things that I wanted to keep. And then this was just extras that I said, well, if I use it, I use it. If I don't, it will get wrapped around cards and put away. This is just a little piece. This should go back in my pile here. So these are things that I'm going to distribute somewhere else so that it does get used. So that would be my entire big bag. This was one of those really large double-sized freezer bags that had all that fabric in. So if I can rework it and redistribute it, that's great. I hope I don't end up putting things back in there, which can sometimes happen, but I'm hoping that it won't. And hopefully I will get it done. But as for my scrapbook paper tray, it hasn't gone down. I mean, you know, I can probably shuffle it a little bit to make it look a little emptier, but it's still pretty full, even though I've taken out papers to decorate these and papers that are on hold for decorating the other ones. It's still pretty full. So this just shows me how scary this is. Even more scary, because I have enough paper pulled out to do all the ones that I want to do. So this is just going to be an ongoing process, I guess. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. The only thing I wanted to do now is to let you know who is the winner for last Saturday's play along, because even though I've finished for today, you guys can still play along, you know, for a few more hours before the day is over, and then I will make that draw next week. So last week's winner is Barbara, and Barbara, I'm going to butcher this, I know it, Shizarto. I hope I got that right, Shizarto. You were last week's winner. You know, there's only a handful of you playing, so you know, it's just 3 little papers, and I pulled one, and it was Barbara this time. So, you know, and Nancy's been playing strong all along, so she's bound to win again because, and you know, she played again today. So you guys, you got to get your game on, because I'm practically going to be giving stuff away to Nancy next week, I think. So that's it. That's all for this video. I hope to see you again either on Monday for a flip through of my journal, if I can get it finished. Otherwise, it'll be Tuesday, Techniques Tuesday, and we are making different centers again for flowers. I would say bring stuff to the table, but you know, you really need to see what I'm doing first, so you may just want to watch. And you know, you could always bring your beading from the 2 weeks ago and work on those while you watch me make these centers. So that'll be what we're working on Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday, of course, will be the next set of flowers, because I've got lots of different flowers to show you and lots of fun ideas. Wednesday will be my happy mail. It's already starting to pile up. I think Brenda Clark left the envelope making machine on overnight or something, because I got 2 in the mail from her when I checked the mail yesterday. You have to shut that machine off at night, Brenda. And then, okay, the rest of the week, you know, we will just play it by ear. But I hope you enjoyed this. I'm having fun. I'm trying to get my stuff cleared off. It's not working that great, but we'll just keep plugging away. So that's it. That's all. I wish you all a creative week, everyone. Have a fun weekend, and see you all soon. Bye for now.